Hey, beautiful thrivers. Today is a tough conversation, but it's a conversation that may be one of the most important conversations that we ever have about narcissists. I'm just going to take you outside with me, and if it gets too loud, I'll come back inside. But yeah, I've been really wanting to have this conversation with you because I know it's something that a lot of you would love to know the answer to. And the answer may not be easy for you today. However, as with all true answers and the truth, it's going to help set you free. And that's what my mission is to do, is to help you get into your power, into your truth, and free from narcissistic abuse. And that's what today is all about. So before I launch into this conversation, if you are enjoying my material, please like and subscribe, and also share with other people who you know it can help, because I'm so passionate about us healing for real from narcissistic abuse and not staying stuck in the trauma and being a victim for the rest of our life. It is so not necessary when you know how to heal and thrive the right way. And today's conversation is going to help you with that. It's going to help you get very clear. So that is the big question. What does the narcissist really think of me? Okay. Let me just say to you, it's not what you would like it to be. And I know what you would like is for the narcissist to think of you in appreciative terms, to care for you, love you, recognize who you are, recognize that your love is genuine and that you would love to enrich this person's life and you care deeply about them. The narcissist, the way that they think, it's not personal, because a narcissist actually can't think any other way than what they do. And let me explain it to you and why. And we need to backtrack a bit. So a narcissist is a false self. And what that means is that they're not connected to a true self. And what a true self is, whether you're religious or spiritual or not, I really want to explain this to you. A true self is someone who is connected vibrationally, emotionally to a higher part of themselves. They know that there is, you might want to call it God or source or creation or the universe, or, you know, whatever your religious denomination is. You realize that there's a higher power, and this higher power is benevolent, it's loving, it has our back, and we have an ability to have a source soul connection, which is what I call it, which is to know that we are loved and approved of, and a higher power has our back, especially when we're cleared out of our trauma and we are connected to this knowing of who we really are. So this source, this higher power, this soul connection is what thriving's all about. It's about releasing our trauma and coming back to filling with the light, filling with source, and knowing who we really are. Now, narcissists don't do that. And the reason why they don't do that and they don't want to do that is because they have inverted the whole energy power structure of life. And let me explain this to you. So the truth of source and life and creation, how I believe it, is that we have the higher power on top. And then what we do is we have an individual with a source soul connection who then expands out into tribes and communities and can create from a wholesome, loving, oneness, unity, humanity perspective that way. Now, what narcissists do is they completely cancel out the source and the higher power aspect of things, and they put themselves at the top of the power energy structure, believing that they are the authority, they are source, they are the higher power, that karma and energy doesn't relate to them, they can make up their own rules, they can do what they want. And then what they do is they put organizations and families and tribes of people, they put themselves at the top of the authority of these people, so it's power over instead of power with. Individuals have no rights, and individuals are seen as mere tools to provide the narcissist with their benefit at the expense of individuals. And they absolutely believe that the highest source needs to be right at the bottom. It needs to be cancelled out so that people will not pull away and connect to true source, that they will come for their source from the narcissist, hence why the narcissist can control their lives. Now, this is important to understand, because with this narcissistic thinking, the narcissist is wanting you to be devoid of your rights, your nourishing and flourishing, your true power, the remembering of who you really are. So therefore, you are cut off from true source. You're dependent on the narcissist for love, approval, survival, and security from them. And therefore, you are the tool, you are the organism through which the narcissist can exploit and mine. And they don't see you as any more than an object and a tool. And it's actually not possible for them to see you as a blood, bone, soul, autonomous human being. They can't see you as a flesh and blood human being. They see you as a prop, as a tool. And the reason is because they don't have a source-soul connection themselves. They don't feel humanity. They don't feel unity. They don't feel love. They don't feel togetherness. They don't feel oneness. They don't feel compassion. They don't feel care. They don't. Everything outside of themselves is a tool, is a means to an end. And what's that end? The narcissist is forever chasing their own salvation, which salvation for everybody is peace and wholeness and fullness, filling with safety, love, oneness. You know, mere words don't really put it into perspective, but it is what everything we've ever chased in our life is, to feel a oneness and a wholeness and a love and a peace. And we can actually get that through source and our higher power unconditionally, which is so beautiful because it's regardless of what's going on in our life. Now, a narcissist can't access that at all. So what they're left with is a black hole, which would be exactly similar to a black hole out in space that is sucking celestial bodies whole, trying to get energy, but the black hole never stops being a black hole. It's a bottomless pit because it doesn't have its own life force and its own light force, because it's not connected to source, which is the light. There's no light force. So this black hole keeps sucking celestial bodies, no matter how pretty and light-filled they are, how filled with life force they are. They get sucked into the black hole and destroyed, and the black hole never stops being a black hole because it's not connected to source. So a narcissist is exactly the same. And this is why people have had the experience with a narcissist where no matter what you give them and how you try to lecture and prescribe to them, and you try to lead by example, this is what I do for you, this is how I care and I love, and you don't grant me any of this back, and it doesn't matter what I give you, it's never enough, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. One minute I feel exalted by you because you're full of narcissistic supply and you think I'm the best thing since poached eggs, and then the next minute when I look at you the wrong way, or I don't greet you coming through the door, I don't give you the answer you want, you treat me like I'm the enemy and you're finished with me, or you're threatening me with something, or you're having a reaction that's just way beyond the perceived crime. Why is that? It's because the narcissist is a no self. They're a false self. And the false self is only serving the egoic internal master, which is the false self, the ego. And the ego is relentless. It is like that black hole in space. It keeps sucking energy. It never feels durably good. It always wants more, and more is never enough. So it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do, it is impossible for you to gratify a narcissist and to win their love and approval, or to have them think about you in positive terms. And it's really quite amazing, as many of you have experienced, and I experienced it too. It doesn't matter what the narcissist walks off into the sunset with and what they take and what you hand over. And even if you feel sorry for them and you try to, grant them a whole heap of stuff for them to get on with their life, or they just rip it out from under you and take it brutally away, they are always going to smear you and blame you and tell everybody that you completely destroyed their life. They're never actually going to think about you in positive terms, because when a false source is trying to get their salvation through false sources, which we all are to each other, the only relationships that actually really work is people who come home to their soul source connection and then share that power with each other. People who work on themselves and people who face their inner demons and their traumas and release them and heal and fill with light, which is what NARP does. That's the transformation. And come home to their true self and source and their humility and their true power and their sovereignty and their authenticity and their love and their compassion, which doesn't mean offering yourself up to be abused and smashed to try to get love. That all stops. And a narcissist is never prepared to do that, because they believe that they're source, the universe, and they are the creator and the authority of all. And that's the illusion. That's the big lie. And this is why everything and everyone is positioned simply to serve them. And you understand this and you know this when you're with somebody who they're never appeased. They don't want to work at solutions. They don't want love. They don't want tenderness. They don't want care. They can feign it at times. They're never genuinely sorry, because they don't believe that they've got anything to be sorry about. They don't believe the laws of karma or justice or decency or accountability apply to them, because they don't believe there's any other higher power than themselves. And you are a prop, you are a tool. And this is, everything that a narcissistic relationship is why it doesn't make sense. It's why you will never be good enough. And it's why you're always going to go through the cycles of being idolized, devalued, and discarded until the final discard, or until you finally pull away and limp, shattered and battered out of the relationship. Turn inwards, bring yourself back to a true source soul connection with source, which is easily done when you know how to do it. It's about the inner work of holding and meeting your traumas, releasing them, letting them go, and bringing in source to replace them and filling with who you really are. You're a piece, you're a fractal part of the energy of source. That's who you really are. Then you come back home to that true connection, which changes everything in your life beyond description. And it takes away the pain of a false self not loving you, not approving of you, not getting who you are. And you learn the ultimate graduation lesson. It's not important what anybody thinks of you. It's important what source thinks of you and what you think of you. And that connection that you have with your source soul self. I hope you're starting to accept this, and you know that your salvation is never going to come through a false source, just like the narcissist never does. Doesn't mean we're a narcissist. It doesn't mean you're a bad person and you don't have a conscience and you literally mind and manipulate people purposefully to get what you want. Narcissists actually do that. They know what they're doing. They don't know that they're disconnected from source and that's why they're behaving so badly, but they know what they're doing. They're amoral. They know they're doing the wrong thing. The truth is they don't care. It's a means to an end. because they are their own authority. They don't have an allegiance to anything apart from feeding that black hole within with whatever means necessary to try to keep getting stuff. Because if they don't get that stuff, they fall into the black hole and into those shocking, overwhelming, engulfing feelings of I'm defective, I'm unacceptable, and this self-disgust that they actually have from themselves. Narcissists have a terrible, terrible, terrible self-image. They are highly insecure, disordered people on the inside. They don't love themselves at all. It's a front. It's the sucking of stuff that buffers them feeling the truth about themselves. And it doesn't end. They are a black hole, and it's really sad, but it is what it is. And it's not your job to rescue them. It's actually your job to come home to your soul connection so that you become a powerful force of example for your children, your loved ones, your community, and you bring the power structure back to how it's meant to be. Source, soul connection with humanity, and then taking that out into tribes and communities of oneness, unity, love, truth, authenticity. Not the disgraceful inversion that narcissists have created within relationships, in families, in organizations and structures. So this is about us waking up to the truth and coming home to true source. I hope that this has made sense to you. All right, I'd love you to have a look at the link that I'm putting up with this video, which is NARP, which is the course, the program where myself and thousands of other people in this community have been able to reach our traumas, our addiction, our trauma bonding to the narcissist, release it, replace it with true source, and reset back into our source soul foundational truth, which is your true power. Benefits you and everything and everyone in your life. Okay, check out the link. Okay, look forward to your comments and your questions. Lots of love. Bye-bye.